Hi, welcome to another one-to-one thing, virtual water cooler. I keep changing my titles on this thing here, but it's 4:30 on a Wednesday, and I'm here, and glad to be here. And hopefully, I'll have some people come drop in and join me, so I'm not so lonely at the water cooler. Just making sure everything is streaming. I think I think it went live, so Facebook is live and should be in LinkedIn here. So yes, yeah. If this has dropped into your feed and it said Steve's gone live, then this is me. It's a regular thing for me just to show up. It's an exercise in showing up, I guess. I try and make this consistent thing in my week and work things around it. But essentially, it's an opportunity to connect. And that's my primary objective here. Also, just showcase what people are doing, how their week's been, what's topical, what's enlightening, encouraging for each of us as sort of guests and uh, conversationalists. So that's really the main thrust of my reason for being here on a Wednesday. Um, was interesting week this week. I actually did a LinkedIn live yesterday, totally ad hoc. We literally got together with Jeremy Pope, awesome coach, and we were having our sort of one-on-one session discussing stuff, and came up with a topic to go live with, and went live, which was really good. It was kind of a bit spontaneous, but at the same time, it came from a place of just wanting to share, and also being familiar with the platform and what it takes to get a live out there. And if anyone's out there scared about, or not scared, but sort of um, nervous about doing lives, LinkedIn lives, hit me up on a DM. Send me a message. Would love to have a chat, get you over the hurdles. Like I said, I do this every week, and usually I'm not by myself, but sometimes I am, so that's totally fine. And it's like I said, it's an opportunity to uh, practice those skills and that comfort level of being in front of the camera. So, but for me, it's Wednesday. I've had a couple of posts and things out. LinkedIn's my place of my platform of choice. So most of my activities around the LinkedIn space. Although I do have a Facebook and a small Instagram presence, but like I said, this is the place I normally hang out. So for me, connections here are big in terms of going beyond the click, and met a an amazing guy that through mutual friends on through LinkedIn, Alexandra. She's maybe listening in, she's been a regular guest here. Connected me with Sven Masterson, and we had a call yesterday, and recorded a podcast episode for my show, the One-to-One Thing, and it was really amazing just in terms of being able to find people in a similar space, um, uh, in a connected space. We're not necessarily the same kind of people, but we have things, we're kindred souls. We have things in common, and we had a fantastic chat just about the the concept and the role of men, and how we can best support one another um, in our journeys. We went all over in terms of the hero's journey, and some of the things that are uh, challenging men, especially in that sort of that midlife um, area, older kids, maybe long-term relationship, marriage, um, and just in terms of you know our roles and our identity and our values and beliefs. So very insightful chat. So this stuff that I will always find time and make time to connect with people on. So not just in the men's space, but also just in terms of our sort of interpersonal experience. So those sort of conversations I'm always open to having. And again, that's an opportunity. If you want to reach out to me via a message or a link, then that would be great. I'm just going to just double check, see if there's anything coming in on the thread. And so that was really a highlight of my week already this week, meeting and chatting with Sven. And also it's been, I've been posting weekly around the 12-week year, and the 12-week year, not just the book, but sort of the process of periodization. And I've been involved with a group, a small cohort group that have been meeting every week over the last 12 weeks. And for me, it's the third session of 12-week blocks, if you like. So marrying like the quarters of the year to some degree, but for me, it's very much around thinking of the period of weeks in terms of months. So week 12 is my December month, and so it's I had a post on Monday just sort of sharing that it's the 12th week of the period that we're going through, and of the cohort meeting. And that was really good in terms of thinking around the time of the year that you'd typically celebrate, December being a quieter month, if you like, for sort of business activities. People are much more family centered. Certainly that's the time of the year. The gift giving, the excessive eating, in the States coming off the back of Thanksgiving. So pretty much you've got your Thanksgiving, your Black Friday, and then you're into that Christmas period. So for me, in terms of the 12-week journey, it was very much an opportunity to review the year, the 12 weeks, and also just kind of tie that into accomplishment of the goals, and the opportunity to provide feedback in terms of what was good, what was not so good, what were the lessons learned, what were the victories won. And it's nice to have it in a concept of taking 12 weeks to find out how you're doing, rather than taking 12 months to find out. So definitely like the idea of having that period be condensed in terms of turning months into weeks. All that to say, I'm looking forward to kicking off a new 12-week cohort in September. We take a week for review, and we kick off on the 28th of September. So if you any interest, any sort of questions you have around that please DM me, reach out and find out more. I'm doing it. It's something that I'm on that journey. So it'd be great to have people that would like to join. And really the outcome for, what's in it for you, or what's in it for them, is really the opportunity to gain some of the skills, some of the strategies and techniques to really connect and be aligned with goals and beliefs and the vision of those goals in such a way that it's still work. You still have to do what you need to do, but it's less of a grind and more of a intrinsic drive. And for me, that's really the key, is having a vision and belief that is so strong that it pulls you towards your goals, as opposed to feeling like you have to be pushing this boulder up a hill, and not enjoying the process often, or just thinking that the outcome is worth the grunt. So we kind of shift that mindset, that paradigm a little bit on its head. And then we use the power of periodization, thinking of things that typically would take calendar months, and sort of condensing that into a focus, a much more tighter focus within a week. And that really helps. And then the power of the cohort is immense, just having people that are like-minded, sort of on your side, in your corner, having their experiences, but also being able to learn and teach from their experiences to others. So that really is what really sort of fires me up for that. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So that's really good. And then what else is happening this week is, on a personal note, I have a birthday coming up. I'm looking forward to, I share a birthday with a very dear friend and fellow coach out of New York, Yayoi Komiyama, and we're jumping on a call uh, today just to um, wish each other happy birthday, which is kind of nice. um, Looking forward to that, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Got one of my buddies coming in there, Will Otero.
What's going on? Hold on one
How
second.
you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Let me change. I've got my audio coming through a different place here. One second. Let me have my audio come through my headphones. Need to. There we go. I can hear you better. You good?
I'm well. I'm well. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Yeah, feeling feeling blessed. Good to see you, bro. It's been a while. It's been...
Yes. It's what? Yeah. But I'm always stopping by and checking. I might not be able to come on the live, but
Yeah.
every time you come on live, I always stop by and check
Oh,
it out and see
oh,
who's
amen.
on there with you.
Amen. That's good. But I'm well. It's I just sharing there stuff going on in the space and got a birthday coming up, which is gonna be fun.
Yes,
Also,
you and Yayoi have a
yeah,
birthday coming up. Yes, you do. Um, but no,
yeah,
it's great to be here. It's always a pleasure to come and chat with you, man.
yeah.
So,
That's
so
good.
how's everything? Good.
Yes, yeah. I'm as I was just saying, I'm excited about kicking off a new program, the 12 week the 12 week year cohort, um, and that's really exciting in that respect to formulate a bit more of a program where we can um, we've done it the program we've done the program in in last quarter, if you like, the last 12 week year, and to sort of have more of a framework in terms of deliverables and um, outcomes. I guess outcomes for people joining the cohort is really positive. I've seen it personally in terms of just in terms of thinking of things in a different focus or different perspective, not necessarily paradigm, but a different perspective. Condensing months into weeks is not just about squeezing more things into a shorter time, as much as making sure that the expectations and the goals and the visions that you set are appropriate for the time that you've allocated to do it. You know, you can't have a baby in 9 weeks instead of 9 months. You got to wait 9 months for a baby. So it doesn't matter what that goal is, you're not going to condense, you're going to squeeze, that something that is naturally going to take that time into a smaller um, uh, time frame, no matter how much you want to do. So sometimes we set goals that just won't fit, um, and sometimes it's better to have a goal that's appropriately sized than something that you're trying to.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Because even it's I'm trying to well, I'm not trying. I'm putting together a retreat for next
Mm,
year, for the fall of next year. But I'm starting the process now. I'm reaching out to certain places, seeing getting quotes on prices and everything.
nice.
And so I'm working on it now and connecting with people and getting people involved. It's gonna be a retreat for podcasters where we come
Cool.
together for 3 or 4 days, uh, have workshops, have people come in to speak about marketing, but just basically showing you how to grow your and monetize your podcast. So, of course, I have a lot of friends in the space, so a lot of them already said, "Oh, I'm really."
To be started. Just in case, just as Will is talking about a podcast retreat.
A podcast retreat.
Yes.
A retreat
Yeah,
for podcasters.
So,
I'm
yeah.
not one. Not yet.
Well, I'm telling 'em I'm working on having lunch, having one next fall, and then I've already reached out to a few places and just, of course, with the people I've connected with and the friendships that I've built through podcasting, I've
Mhm.
already people already lined up. Like, yeah, I'll speak. I'll sit down So it's great to have those relationships. So I'm excited, man. Um I've been in communication with one place that me and my wife are gonna go visit because it's probably an hour away from me.
Mhm.
So very excited to see and see where it goes. And the people that I've presented the proposal to are excited. So they're looking forward to helping me make something from it. So
Very cool. Very cool. We'll have to find a way to either live stream or connect some way.
I
To
was yeah,
have
it's
some
all gonna be
workshops
worked out.
where we
It's
can
all
have
gonna
some
be worked
UK
out.
European representation, bro.
Steve, I think your mic might be off. Like you might be on the wrong mic, maybe, or something.
Oh, thank you. Let me
Yeah,
try.
you're not as clear and crisp as you usually are.
All right, let me
Your
see.
audio game is tight lately, and it's not just there right now. So
All
just
right, let
helping.
me see. It's got me audio input on the Manacaster. Why is it
Is it on?
1212?
Nope.
It says it's on. Sometimes the is that better?
There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we
there
go.
we go.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thanks.
Pro level.
It's Restream picks up a default, and it's not necessary. It doesn't. The window tells me that I'm on this, and then it's
Mm,
not until I switch it. I'm blaming Rika. I'm blaming Restream when I should be checking it. I can't even check it myself actually because I hear it thinking it's okay, but
either
don't.
way, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. Because when I play it back, I get annoyed because I think, oh, I'm on the laptop
Yeah.
speaker, the laptop microphone. It's so annoying. Everyone's
Yeah.
great except me.
Well, when I first joined and you started talking, I'm like, what? What? I couldn't hardly hear you. Like,
Oh,
yeah. I
okay.
mean,
And that was I had quite a bit of a monologue today as well because
I mean, I'm sure it was audible, but it was like it's not it wasn't as crisp and clear as it is now.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. All right. I had to add that to my workflow to double check my settings.
Playbook.
There you go. So yes, but having something whereby we have some 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 dropping or live streaming into your retreat
Of
from
course. Yeah,
overseas, man, that'd be super cool. It could be some of the workshops they come in and
it can. It can.
yeah,
It's all we're in the beginning stages. So I'm just excited to be able to work with so many wonderful people that I've already
yeah.
volunteered. You know, Yayoi is already
Oh yeah, yeah.
so
And you know what? It's all we're it's nice it's nice to be in the we're already in the top we're in the top 7%. Boom of we're podcasters proper, except Justin. Justin hasn't
I'm not one.
started.
Yeah.
But it's yeah the thing there's the inertia of starting um and is one of my top allies in the hero's journey. You know, you think you want to do this thing, and then I don't know how our paths crossed, and you hear that. I heard his dulcet tones. I went, oh man, this guy's built for radio, man.
Mhm.
And then we connected. I thought, I can do this. Not that if he can do it, I can do it. It's just like
you should look at it
you,
that way because I didn't have a background in media or anything like that. It my wasn't my lane. So
yeah,
I feel if I can do it, anybody can do it.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it's one of those things that there's no shame in trying, and and
That's a big statement. I mean, pause right there. That's a big statement, right? Because I think that is part of the inertia that you're talking about. Is we do feel a shame around trying.
mm,
Like what if it doesn't work? What if people mock me? What if this? What if that? There is a real. I mean, I think you're right. There is no
mm,
shame in trying, but as human beings, we fear that,
yeah.
and we fear the potential shame that should never be there, right?
Well, yes, yeah. It's definitely fear, false evidence appearing real.
Yeah,
That's
I like that.
really
It
the
took me a year. I had a podcast equipment for over a year before I even actually launched my podcast because we kept recording,
Yeah,
deleting, recording, deleting, recording,
yeah,
deleting. because in my mind, I'm like, I suck. I sound
Mm.
horrible. Who's gonna want to listen to me? What am I gonna talk? I just made up every excuse in the world not not to release an episode.
While I'm wearing the headset.
And I listen. I started with a little Behringer, $160 Behringer podcasting setup from Amazon,
Yeah.
and that's how I started. But it was just me recording. No, I suck. I deleted. I record again, and then finally, when I was furloughed from work, I was home. The wife had a honey to-do list out the door for me, and I was like, "Yeah, I need to find something to do." And I finally just pressed record, and it just took off from there. But it was fear was a big reason of why I didn't start. It was a major reason because I'm like, who's gonna want to like again? Is that self-doubt? Who's gonna want to listen to me? Who's gonna? I don't know what to talk about. I don't have these alphabets behind my name and all these other different things. So who's gonna want to have anything to do with what I have to say or anybody that I interview? So, but it is. I'm glad I did do it. It's been such a great journey, and just the relationships I've been able to build. Steve is one example. Yayoi is another one that we're so far. Well, for me and Yayoi's case, we're not that far apart. We're just a couple hours away. But Steve being across the pond and everything. But to build these relationships and have these networks and now with everything that I'm wanting to do, it's like everybody's in place. Like you start connecting with people and they just start falling into place, and your vision and dreams just start coming to reality.
Yeah. And yeah, it's another level for me. It was all of that and exercising another level of connection. I think it was it was obviously there were life changes going on for me that opened the opportunity to do something like this, or gave me the space to consider an opportunity like this. I didn't know where it was going to go. It was maybe on my radar as part of the whole marketing process of getting yourself out there in your own right, coaching personal space. So it was like, oh, it's one of those things that people say you can do, and that's where the fear kicks in, because the expectation is that if I do this, I'm going to get that, and
is that like the fear of success you're talking about?
Yes, yeah, or the expectation that this has to lead, doing this now has to lead to an outcome, and then the fear of it not making that outcome or not meeting that expectation. Did I have the fear of it blowing up? I never had the fear of it blowing up. I didn't have the fear of success in podcasting, because it's like YouTubing. All of the majority of the good advice around it says do it with no expectation for at least X number of episodes. Which is, it's the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? It's be bold enough to think that you can do it, even when you know you can't.
Yeah.
Right. People
It's kind of like wearing a chef's jacket.
Well done. That's why I like Justin, man. He's a smart cat. He remembers stuff, man. Yeah, put the jacket on. I mean, it was a second-hand jacket. It didn't have to be a new one. It just had to be something that got you over the hump and doing it.
Change your mindset.
Yeah, and don't evaluate too early. I think you do the first show and you go, oh no, that one's rubbish. But don't evaluate too early. I'm still evaluating now. I haven't changed my thumbnail for my show since I started. I've got a different logo up here now, which is thanks to my daughter. Shout out to Adina Wright Design. Awesome. I got to share with you, Justin, and you will. She did an Instagram interview she's got some work with a furniture company in Cambodia, and doing some visual design work for them. And they interviewed her as women in business. And she did an interview with them, really nice. She gave me a shout out, which is kind of cool. She worked with as one of her clients, but just beautiful to see her flourish in that way. But all that to say is like, what's about the fear, don't expect I didn't have the mindset of success. I just wanted to do it. I got enough reps. You get enough reps under your belt, and then you can make more informed decisions. And then you're not taking decisions based on what other people are saying. You're making decisions based on what you've done and what you've got under your belt, which is a lot more real. And
based on a decision based on your data, not someone else's.
Based on your data, your data, your bandwidth, your expectations, the cadence, the speed, how quickly things can happen. And then if opportunities come up, you're assessing them a little bit more judiciously, because you've got some time in the saddle, which never really hurts. And there's no bad podcast show, because there's an exercise there. Me showing up on a live every week by myself is testimony to me being able to do doing the podcast. And then you get quantum connections. You get Will, you get Yayoi, you get Mr. Whiskey. You get people that were net strangers. They were just nothing but a click on a social media platform, and then you break through that veneer, you break through that mold, and you record a great show, and just like, man, this is what it's about, being able to actually connect at a better level. And it helps other connections, like you and I's connection, Justin, is great, so it's a testimony to just being able to show up and listen. And shout out to Michelle Gordon from Gordon Training International, Solana Beach, one of my favorite customers of all time, as an IT service provider. And we've been friends 30. It's got to be close to 2000. It was pre-2000, because I did Y2K. I did Y2K work on a Novell server.
Wow. So, I haven't heard that word in a while. Novell, I haven't heard that in a while. Yeah.
Novell, man.
What was their protocol? What was that protocol called? It wasn't TCP/IP. It was something else.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. That was right on the edge of Token Ring. I mean, I remember Token Ring back there. But yes, so and she gave me a sterling piece of advice, in terms of coaching. And she said, be a good listener. Listening is the superpower in that space. And I've always held on to that, and especially when I started interviewing in the podcast space, that was my goal, was to.
I thought you were going to say interviewing in the hiring space. I thought you were about to take a strong jab.
To listen. No, well, no, I mean, her work, her work, and Gordon Training International's influence preceded my time at Cyrus, and so there was an impact, there was an influence there, in terms of it's important to listen. And then when you listen really well, you don't just listen with your ears. And that's when it starts taking on a different dimension. Listening takes on a different dimension, and other senses come into play, other nuances come into play. You're quiet enough to listen, which is often the challenge nowadays, is that there's too much noise
especially
around.
now, right?
There's
more
too much
pointed all
noise
the time
around to listen, and things are coming at you too so fast that the time it takes to process what you're listening to prevents you from listening. And then that becomes an issue. That becomes an issue of itself. And then obviously you know about rumination. The
You know
Lego.
about
I
rumination.
know.
You know, I don't know anything about it.
Inside joke, Will. We had a workshop. We had a workshop retreat, and a retreat for a company we both worked for, Cyrus and Software out of San Diego. Beautiful company. And one of the exercises in the workshop was to build a structure out of Lego bricks.
Okay.
One was created in a box already done, and then you had to explain to somebody. You had to give them verbal instructions on how to build the same shape in a different box. So, like you'd say, okay, this one's got a long brick and a short brick on top of a small brick, and so you're describing what you see in one box to somebody who's trying to build it in another box. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the designs weren't exactly how.
Oh, they weren't even. Our group wasn't even close. We had so many people giving the builder instructions that the builder couldn't process everything that was going on to make the shape.
Were you the builder, Steve?
I wasn't the builder. I was one of the people carrying the instructions, and then someone else was building it. But it's just interesting. It's almost like those telephone, what do they call it? Telephone mailed.
That's what we call it. Yeah.
Telephone, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone says something and then they say it to you, and then you hear what they say. And then by the time you pass it on to 2 or 3 people, it's changed its meaning. And then the person who finally hears it has a totally different instruction. And that's what happened in that. I won't call names.
I wasn't even there, so
I know.
but I've seen you. I mean, still, that was 7 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
7 years ago.
Since we come to see you, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, almost to the date, honestly. Like it was mid-October, I think, when you guys came.
Yes,
so
that was my birthday.
yeah. Anyway, it was 7 years ago, and I've heard you mention it multiple times. So it deeply affected you for one reason or another. I think it was competitiveness, right? You wanted to win so bad, but there was all these boundaries and borders, and
I think the reason it stuck so much is that it was a shared experience with a good group. It's a shared experience with a good group of people. It's not traumatic for me to recount it.
It's not traumatic.
It's not traumatic to recount it. It's just that it happened in an environment where there were a lot of. It's like going to a great party, without getting sort of blind drunk. It's a party that you enjoy. There's people there, and there's things happening in the party that you really enjoy. And because you had not just because of the event, but because of the people that were around you, it stays in your psyche longer. So it was a good event. It was frustrating as heck to not have a built, even a close enough built thing. I wasn't annoyed. I wasn't angry, and it wasn't one of those.
You were frustrated internally. You were mad at some kind of. I mean, like I said, I wasn't there, but you were frustrated at yourself over some part of it, right?
There was yes, there was like it was a pity that we didn't have an outcome, even close to an outcome. And then I guess my nature is that I would laugh it off in terms of, I would look back in 7 years and it'll be funny. I'm looking back in 7 years and it's still funny, but it
still stings somewhere. I can see it. I can see
it. But rumination is one of those things that I like this form of rumination where I think, you know what? I think about that time and we could have done things differently. And if I had my time again, if I had a similar exercise to do with somebody, I may not even get a different outcome. I may have the same kind of dynamics where someone thinks they know how to do it. Mm-hmm. And if everyone doesn't fall into line in terms of that autocracy to get it done that way, then you'll end up with people having factions. oh, you should put that brick on top of that brick. And you go, no, it goes the other way around. That's what they, and then you'd have that sort of argument. And then you've got a time constraint that then makes it very difficult. You have to make a decision, like an escape room or something. I mean, those are frustrating too. If you've done escape rooms.
I'm thinking maybe the experience from the first time, that'll kind of let you, hey, look, I went through this a lot before. Maybe if we do it this way, we won't get the same result. So I'm thinking maybe the experience from the first time will help you guide much better the second time around.
Yes, I agree. And at the same time, if you're, I can see that I can see that dynamic not always playing well in when you form new groups. People come in and go, oh, I've done that. I see what that is. I recognize that pattern. I've done it, been there, got the t-shirt. This is how we do it. And then people go, whoa, 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 whoa. You just walked in. How do you, this, I don't care if you've got 20 years in the game. This is a whole new ball of wax. When you started IT, I wasn't born. Right? So who are you? So sometimes there's a dynamic that plays into that. And so the listening thing that's what I said, the listening has to be deeper than just your ears, because how you receive the information, how you impart it the second time around. Yes, you do want to bring experience. You do want to bring your wisdom to a situation, but sometimes the wisdom is how you impart that to somebody else, not the fact that you just know it and go, oh, I've done that. It's what you do. And then sometimes you're given that. That leeway to sort of go, okay, you look like you've done this before. We'll follow your lead. And then you got the pressure of ascribed leadership. Oh, dang, they put me in charge.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yes, yeah. Especially if they didn't put it on themselves, right? If someone put the crown on you, and because it's too heavy for them.
Yeah. Well, and people are apt to do that. I think there's different dynamics and different, styles, but one thing I've learned is, yeah, people will try. I mean, on this show whatever, you've ascribed, the quality of leadership to me. But I've also had people try to ascribe it, like you're saying, like in a situation, they want to say you lead because for whatever reason but mostly I believe, and I could be wrong, I'm happy to be wrong, it's because they don't want to. You just said that, like, because the crown is too heavy, they want to pass it on. Or it's not even that, it's just like people generally want to be led. Generally, I mean, there are, like you say, there's a quality of leadership that people, kind of stand out and whatever, but generally people just want to be led. Which is a fascinating group dynamic stuff.
And that's, it's good to be led. It's the best leaders have been good followers. I think of the quality of a good leader is the ability to follow. And you don't have to be of faith, but in faith circles, in the leaders, the leaders that show up in the Bible are good followers. They've been
obedient.
good followers. Yeah. So and that, I think that's always gonna stand you in good stead, because in order to lead, you need to understand what it takes to follow. And there's that classic video of was it the positive psychology guy, the video of a guy dancing at a some sort of show or concert, and he's on the bank and he stands up, he's shirtless, and he stands up and he starts dancing. He's dancing by himself, and like the video follows the dynamic of people looking at him thinking he's weird, and then one person decides to follow him, and then all of a sudden he becomes the leader of this group of people that are just dancing. And then minutes later, there's a whole bunch of people up there dancing, enjoying themselves. And
Mhm.
the whole premise is that it only takes one follower for you to become a leader.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's interesting. It was very interesting in terms of that respect. But yeah, you need the qualities of both. And listening is, like I said, listening is the cornerstone.
Agreed. Well, and I think listening speaks to humility, right? Which is, like you said, from a biblical perspective. I mean, that's key for
Yeah,
all sorts of life application.
yeah, yeah. So that's very cool. So yeah, when you're ready, Justin, we got
Are
your.
we there yet?
That's the name of the show. Will, are we
Yeah.
there yet?
Yeah. My concept is about.
So Justin does has a show, or he
I
doesn't?
It's got
don't
an
have a
idea
show.
for a show.
I've got a pretty solid, like, mapped out idea. I've even spoke to a couple of potential guests.
And so, what are you waiting for? I'm asking.
That's a great
Yeah.
question.
Are we there yet?
What
That's a
are,
great question.
what are you waiting? I don't know. Are you waiting for someone? What is
I
it?
don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Logistics is part of the hurdle, but I would, if I wasn't missing whatever that you're talking about that you're trying to get at right now, if I wasn't missing that, I would work the logistics out. There's some logistical hurdles, but like I said, I would work it out if I could just get my head straight. I'm making the logistics is an excuse, is what I'm saying. I get.
It is.
I
know.
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I am. Yes, it is an excuse, but if for me, it was just like I just got tired of making an excuse. I just was like, all right, if they don't like me, they don't like me. But if I don't try, I'm already failing
Yeah.
because I'm not putting it out there.
Miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah, I've already failed because I didn't attempt this, and
Yeah.
I'm not taking the shot. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, or with my podcast doing very well, and me interviewing some amazing people, and so and from listening to you speak, I think you'll be wonderful. So I don't
Appreciate
see
that.
why.
Why I haven't done it.
Yeah, like you know your shit. So
It's really hard. Okay, it's really hard.
Okay.
Yeah,
So.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm working towards it. I mean, I've made
Right now, you're doing technically you're doing the podcast right now, right?
right.
So
I'm making steps. Like I said, I've purchased equipment. I've looked at domains. I've done a lot of stuff.
Oh, you're just giving me all excuses.
My point in saying
was an excuse because I didn't have any of that when I started. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have domains.
Yeah.
I opened a free account on Podbean, and that's where I started. And just I had, like I said, I had $160. I had a little mixer, a regular dynamic mic.
I like Behringer stuff, by the way.
Oh, Behringer guys, it was. I'm not listen. It was for what I paid for it. It was it worked. It was wonderful. It was my introduction to the audio space, and it did its job.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Right now, everything you just said to me was the excuse. It's
execution beats education.
I believe that
every time.
I believe that.
I believe
that. I mean, that's my whole thing that I got into it the other day about the jacket, right, Steve? I mean, you put it on, you do the work. Like, I'm not trained as a chef, but I'm gonna have a mindset, that's different when I put the costume on. Like, I believe that. So, I mean, I believe it. I know. I hear you. I got to work it out.
You're sharp. You're sharp. You're articulate. You're empathic.
He can do the job.
You're eloquent. I mean, and these are not. I'm not blowing smoke. These are I, and that's not just a fly by night impression. That's time with you. So
Right.
this is not one of those spaces where I'm going, Justin, ooh, at all,
Right.
right?
I appreciate that.
You
I
know,
appreciate it.
where it goes and what you do with it, that's your journey.
Right.
But embarking on it, like Wills has said, you know, you're at the train platform, got a ticket in your hand.
Just
It's like
get on the train. Get on it. Get down the road.
No, I guess I'll wait for the next train. I don't.
Yeah.
so yeah, and I mean it's a metaphor for lots of things in life, man. I mean, I got to say, it's my birthday on Saturday, so it's another year, and it's like, man, I got more behind me than in front of me, and not that there's a mortality pressure, but there's just a sense of the unnecessary waiting.
The delays. You're like, we don't have time. Like it's time. Like we're short on time. We're on the shorter end of it. So why delay the rewards when you can just, like, if you already know you're capable of doing it and you're more than capable of doing it, it's just, to me, just, I don't know. And again, I can understand why, because I've made excuses before I started. It was just the big one was for me personally was fear. It was like, I'll probably suck. And when I did suck the first few
100.
yeah. Maybe.
He's talking about himself, not you, Will.
But I felt the same way. It's like I from where I am now to where I originally started, there's tremendous growth, but it took me diving into it and going and doing it and really wanting to really learn the craft.
Mm.
And so once I decided that is okay, now I started investing in myself. I started taking some courses, learning about audio, video, learning about quality of mic. What's the difference between a condenser mic, dynamic mic? What's the difference? What's lighting I need? What's camera? What's this? And it's because I wanted to make sure that the content I put out there was of value. Like audio is very important.
Yeah.
You want people to hear what you're saying. So
Right.
I made sure that I worked on that. I made sure that it was, because I felt like if people are listening to me, because first I was strictly audio. My podcast was strictly audio for the first 100 and something episodes, and then of course I transitioned to YouTube, and I still do the audio. But it was important for me to make sure that my audio was on point, because people were giving me something very precious, which is their time,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to make sure the quality that I was giving them was just as valuable.
Reflected that. Yeah. What were you going to say, Justin? You were going to.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I lost it.
You had that look.
Yeah, that looked like I'm going to say something.
Yeah. I was just writing down something that we never start from zero.
Mm.
I mean, I can't think of. There's nothing. And maybe not even life. You're not born from zero, because you're formed in your mother's womb, right? So you come out more than zero. You start your life more than zero. So when we embark on things, we're very, very, very rarely starting from zero, because you bring some quality. You may not know something. Sure, you may wake up and not know how to do X, and you have to learn how to do X. But you approaching the learning of X is not from zero.
Mm-hmm.
It's from all your prior learning.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So even in that scenario,
or you could argue you don't know anything and you have to know something, you have to learn something. You're not starting from zero. And I think sometimes I know I do it. I see something out there that I don't know, and I think everybody's at 10, 15, 20, 30 and getting into it, and I'm literally at zero or minus because I've got some sort of aversion, or I misunderstood what it is. So I'm starting at zero or less, which means I feel like I never catch up. But just shifting that mindset that says, I'll bring my learning to learning something. And that means that I'm not starting from zero. And in spaces like this where you have other people that maybe at 10, 20, 30 ahead, if you like, but understand what it is to go back to 5 or 0 or 3 to show somebody that they're not starting from zero, and you're not starting from zero, and you're not starting alone. So it's like, I mean,
Get on the train. Get on the train.
The conductor's waving the flag, man.
Yeah. Get on the train. I got it. I got the message.
But for listeners, I mean, I'm bringing that to a broader metaphor, because whether it's some sort of career change, whether it's some sort of relationship change, whether it's some sort of physical dynamic or physical change, that concept of thinking that you're going from the books 0 to 1 and things that put you in the starting block, and the impression that a starting block is 0 and you're trying to get to 10, for example, or whatever the destination is. A lot of times we're not starting. The same metaphor is like you're not starting from a starting block. You might be starting from a running start. The relay is run from a running start, not a block. You don't have 4 blocks on the track. You've got 1 block on the track when you start, and each of the relay points, and we're always being past something, which means that we're always having a running start.
That's good.
So
I just want to pause right there, take a slight detour.
Yeah, go for it.
Your ability to create and map metaphors onto like applicable concepts is top notch. That's I would say, like, if you ask me what's one big takeaway I have from you, and I think you might have asked me that before, and I don't know if this is what I said or not. I don't think so, but your ability to create a metaphor on the fly, or find an existing metaphor that fits a life situation, to communicate that situation in a more concrete way is excellent.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Send me a recommendation in LinkedIn.
Will do. Master communicator.
I'm building those up. But yeah, thanks. Again, the ability to accept a compliment. That was one of our sessions.
That's right. Yeah, you just say thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Let it sit. I can ruminate on compliments. That's a reflection. That's reflection, not rumination.
What's funny about the word ruminate? I read a book a long time ago. I won't even say the book. It wasn't your typical nonfiction book. It was a more entertainment focused book. It was reviewing episodes of a television show, is what the book was actually. But there was a section in, not in every episode, but in like episodes where there was some kind of extra special topic, and they called it ruminations. And so I always had this idea that rumination was a positive thing, but I feel like you always kind of cast it in a negative light. Is it negative or is it positive?
It's neutral.
Okay.
It's neutral. I think a lot of people think of it in terms of the process of digestion in a cow, right? They have that's where the rumen, the pockets of the cow's gut, or the stomach.
They have like 4 stomachs, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's that literally four in like 4 quadrants, but there's sections. So
Yeah.
they'll regurgitate the food and chew it and bring it
Right.
back, and it goes. Yeah. So even that term goes, ew, that's nasty, right?
Right.
But the thing is the act of rumination isn't necessarily bad. What you ruminate on could be.
Yeah. Okay.
So if that cud that the cow's doing this thing with is in order to get nutrients from grass, which is pretty fibrous, and you got to eat a lot of it to get
Right.
anything out of it. I'm a vegan. I know you got to eat lots of.
Right.
It's not calorie dense. I mean, it's high fiber, but it's not necessarily calorifically dense.
Right.
So if that's for if you got to do that, ruminate through nutrients, i.e. just got to think through, you got to think something through. Iteration is the same. You could almost argue iteration is the same.
Mhm.
And
But based on how you're describing it with the cow and whatnot, it sounds like what you're talking about is processing something for additional value, or maybe complete value, right? Like getting as much value out of something as you can. In the cow, it's the nutritional value, but in life or whatever, we're
Yeah.
like processing the learning so we can take it with us and
I
use it
like to think
later.
of that's what I like to think of in the workshop. We looked at reflection. When you reflect
Mhm.
on something, that's kind of like getting feedback, and that's
Mhm.
fine. The tilt on rumination was that it's usually something that is less than it tends to be something that is counterproductive. It tends to be either some sort of trauma or fear or anxiety, and you let it fester. We use
Mhm.
these
Mhm.
terms in our language that say if you leave things unattended, they atrophy, and then
Mhm.
they spoil and they rot, and you get all these kind of connotations of it being bad if you don't
Right.
do anything about it. And rumination is not doing something about it other than stirring it up and stirring it up.
Okay.
So that's how it can feel like it's not a good thing.
Right.
On the flip side, sometimes if that stirring brings up a different way of dealing with it, in the cow's sense, it needs to. It's got the 4 pockets or 4 sections in its gut, its stomach, for a reason.
Mhm.
Right, and it has to move from one pocket to another pocket, and whether it goes up and then back down or whatever it does in their digestion, that's a good thing. That's by design.
Right.
For us, if you ruminate on a lost opportunity to the point where it prevents you from looking at another opportunity,
Right.
or it gets you stuck where you are, then that's not necessarily a good thing. Ruminating to kind of reminiscing. Do you think of reminiscing as something positive?
Right.
Yeah, you reminisce on a good visiting you in Oklahoma.
Right.
I can relive that all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is interesting how we can, and that's where the metaphors come in, right? If you got the metaphor can shift something from being positive to negative or to neutral, or recognizing that it's neutral.
Right.
Most processes are neutral.
Right.
We ascribe something to them.
Mhm.
The process itself isn't bad.
It
Speech isn't
depends on the
bad.
outcome. Right.
Yeah, speech isn't bad. It's just what you say.
Yeah. And what the outcome the outcome can vary
Yes.
drastically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So again, yeah, off that tangent of metaphorical thinking. I like stories. I'm a visual thinker. I look up a lot. I imagine pictures a lot.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
I feel
and
like I do the same thing.
yeah,
Similar. Yeah.
and
I went to paint yesterday. I was talking to a customer and they were describing something. I went to paint and I was like drawing boxes, and I didn't share it with them, but I
yeah,
was like visualizing what they were saying. I
yeah,
was trying to like concretely visualize what they were talking about. Yeah.
yeah. No,
Oh, and
yeah.
Miro, right? Like you're the one that went
Oh
big on
yes,
Miro. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
that helps with that process for
yeah.
sure. For
I
sure.
love Miro, and I found another app as
Of
well that has
course you
been
did.
really exciting this week. um, I will. I'll share it because this it's not a plug per se, but it was a shiny object that is it's gone through enough of its trial. So I'm still on the trial version of it, but it's called Goalscape,
Mm.
GOALSCAPE.
Is this in
And
preparation for next year?
this is in preparation for the next cohort. It's got me. It's a tool that allows you to visually represent tasks and goals in the context of other tasks and goals, which
Mm.
is nice. If I did in the context of a day or a week, let's say, and I've got to do 5 things. I've got to make sure I eat, sleep, work out, work, create value, maybe connect with people. So I've got 5 things in my week. I can carve those up. I've only got so much of a week to do them in, but whatever section they have represents how important they are to get done.
Hmm.
And having it visually, rather than me listing out 5 things on a bullet list, on a bullet sheet, where each bullet point doesn't tell me how big a chunk of my day.
It's not weighted.
It's not weighted.
Yeah.
And a numbered list isn't going to help because what's at the top doesn't necessarily have to be
Yeah.
the most. It might be the most important, but it may not be the most timely or time sync, whatever.
Right.
So
Yeah.
having something that is graphically represented makes a lot more sense. And it's nice. It's got enough complexity, and it's got enough going on in it. Really gonna drop? That's cool, bro. Yeah, let's go.
I mean, really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we'll next time we get together, we'll see if Justin is there yet.
I appreciate your comments, Will. It's good to see you. You're looking good. How much have you lost so far?
Oh,
Um, oh man.
Ratio. You can give ratio, percentage, whatever.
Oh
You don't
no,
have to give absolutes.
I'm over. I've lost over 100 pounds.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
my goal is I'm 30 pounds from my goal. So
nice.
You can get there. You're doing
Yeah.
good.
thank you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Good journey then. That's a good journey, bro. All right. Thanks.
guys.
Thanks for that shout out, Justin. All right. Well, we'll see you soon, bro. Yeah, that is great.
Yeah,
is
that's
great.
wild, huh?
Yeah.
I need to get back on I need to get back on that train too. I'm on the train going the wrong direction now. I need to get back on that train.
Yeah. So yeah. So the goal, the act of setting goals that have steps and processes around it that makes sense is cool. And I like Miro because it's free form. It's free form,
Yeah.
infinite whiteboard. Lots of great content in there. And nice thing with this product, you can embed it into Miro. So
Oh, nice.
with a I think with a basic a standard package of Miro, you can embed or iframe a lot of stuff in there,
Mhm.
so you can still use it as your space. But Goalscape is very. If you check it out, ping me up, and let me know what you think.
Is it I'm looking at it now. They've got all this wheel stuff. Is it?
Yes.
It's like a big wheel. Yeah. You like the wheel?
And then you
Yeah.
and then you can condense the outer rings to focus on them
Mhm.
to center, and you can make each of the sections a center of its own wheel. So
Interesting.
you can break out the nesting ability
Mhm.
of it is very cool. And there's some basic inputs and outputs in terms of getting the steps out. It's not your CRM or your project manager tool, but it's a great visualization of where you focus and how much focus you give it. I can imagine I would use this in a team scenario whereby we're weighting what we're doing
Yeah.
and
The
what gets
objectives
done.
and
Yeah. And also you can track the progress, color code the progress on each of the sections, and they roll up. So like
Yeah.
an OKR type thing.
Yeah.
You've got
Very cool.
a key result, and that key result being filled contributes to the other ones.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, have you heard from Jeff on the back of the Experts Live? It was
Yeah, I spoke to
yesterday.
him this morning. Yeah, he said it
Oh,
went really well.
yeah, man,
Yeah.
man. I was hoping that the stars would align, that I would be in London, but
Yeah.
it didn't work out that way. So I'm still in the north. But yeah, I've been following his feeds on that.
His
So,
lead up to it. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm glad that went well, man. That's
Yeah. Yeah. He
good.
said it went. He was tired. He said, but he said it went good.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's fantastic. Good stuff. So what else is on your radar? How are the grandkids?
Yeah. Good. He had an upset tummy this past weekend, but I think he's on the mend now.
Oh, good.
He's good.
Yeah,
he's very good.
You like it. You're liking that. You're owning that identity now.
Oh yeah, I'll take it.
Oh my goodness. So you're gonna whiten the beard for Christmas? You're gonna do a little
It
Santa
might get there on
action?
its own. I mean, it's pretty close on its own. Nah, it'll be what it'll be.
Yeah,
He won't know the difference. He's, he'll be 8 months, 9 months. He won't know the difference.
Yeah.
Grammy is my, my wife she's the real Santa Claus. She can't stop,
Oh,
She's buying him anything and everything, clothes and toys, and yeah,
oh man.
she's out of control.
Oh dear.
She loves
fantastic.
it. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. So
IPX
good.
SPX is what I was trying to think of a while ago.
Yes.
Novell.
Yes.
IPX SPX.
Yes.
Yeah. Not many people left that know what that means.
If you know what IPX SPX is and remember that stuff, then
yeah,
give us a shout on the replay, because that would that's when you could see the data bumping down the line, the fat coax. none of this fiber malarkey. It was fat coax, real copper.
Was coax, was it was basically capped at 10 meg, is that right?
BNC, TNC connections, that's it.
But it was, 10 meg max, was it? Do you know?
10, probably 10 meg. Yeah, probably 10 megabit.
Yeah. I was just wondering, in this house there's coax ran for television. I was wondering, could I use that somehow? Is there some network application where I could use the existing
copper
infrastructure and send network signal over it? I'd have to have all that BNCs and, like you're saying, like all of that stuff probably.
Yeah, you'd have to have I mean, the I guess the medium would work. It's just a matter of what you'd plug, what you'd send down the medium, and then what you'd receive at the other end of it. It's like the like those power adapters that use your main networks to run your data over.
Use electrical to send
they use electrical circuits. Yeah. So
that's what I was getting at. Some similar to that. Yeah.
I have one. I had it in here before I moved the router, the router box upstairs. I had to plug it in the mains because the walls are pretty thick here. So the house Wi-Fi signal wasn't really covering some spaces. So
how did that work? Sending network over the power.
It worked pretty good. Yeah. It wasn't as lossy as the Wi-Fi.
Wow.
Because you're dropping into physical cable.
But there's no interference, I guess. I mean, that circuit's clean,
it's
basically,
modular,
right?
Yeah, you modulate it differently to power, to electrical. You're just using the fact that there's a copper connection.
That's wild.
It's wild. It's wild what we accept as being normal these days. You walk into a room, you turn on the light switch, and you go, and if the light doesn't come on, you turn it off. You turn it on and off again a couple of times before you start thinking of other things.
What's down the
Yeah, but no one. Yeah, it's a given. We turn our phone on, and it's modulating data and
all around you.
Yeah, and voice and
well, and compression. Wi-Fi. It's it's being compressed on the source end and being decompressed on the client side, and it's like That's crazy too. If you
Yeah.
think about, like, if you're watching YouTube, it's that stream is compressed. That's
Compressed.
why
Yeah.
it's so robust. Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot goes into that.
Yeah. And yeah,
Or
it's
this, I mean, I said YouTube. This, I mean, I don't know if it's compressed and whatever all, but it's, very robust, very dynamic. You're in the UK, I'm in Oklahoma, like
yeah.
very, very robust.
Yeah.
A lot of technology in the mix here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no one takes the time. No one takes the time to decompress it unless to decompose what it
Hmm.
takes to get my signal and voice over to you, and vice versa.
Right.
We just take it as a given, and then we think of it as a right. It's just like
Hmm.
it's got to be done. I paid for this, then therefore it's got to work.
Yeah. Have you heard
And-
the Louis C.K. bit where he was on the airplane, the first airplane to have Wi-Fi? Have you heard that? You know what I'm talking
No?
about? You know who Louis C.K. is, the
Yeah.
comedian? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was on the first Wi-Fi flight, and they were excited. They announced it, Wi-Fi on the plane, blah blah blah. And then like an hour into the flight, it quit working, and everybody's like, "What is this? This is ridiculous. The Wi-Fi doesn't work. Why can't we have Wi-Fi?" Like, he was like, "You're in the
Yeah,
sky."
yeah, in a tube flying
Yeah,
at 500 miles an hour.
yeah, right. And your
What are you
Wi-Fi doesn't
bouncing
work.
off?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Um. Yeah.
Yeah.
That just underscores your point, though. Like,
Yes.
we become complacent and just expect things to work, and when they don't, we're mad about it. First
Yeah.
world problems, right?
It's not. It goes beyond first world. I think it's like the microwave, the microwave generation, right? You just expect you put it in a box, you press the dial, and 30 seconds later it's ready.
Hmm.
And
Or else.
yeah, and then there's no thought about the consequence of something being done so quickly.
Hmm. Well, and
Um,
it's better for it. I mean, I think I think we're starting to shift. We're starting to have a recognition that we're better off when we're made to wait. We're better off when we're made to suffer. I mean, that's
yeah.
biblical too, right? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
we're better off when we're made to endure
Yeah.
anything, really. I mean, it might not feel good in the moment, but we're better
Yeah.
off for it. Delayed gratification, like that's kind of what you're talking about, right? The lack
Yeah.
of, yeah,
That's so true. I just made to wait, suffer. Um, what was the
endure,
other one?
endure.
Endure.
Yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
endure, I'm from
Endurance.
Southern
That's yeah.
America.
There's a lot. There's a lot in there. And it requires full circle here, overcoming the fear it takes.
Yeah. There's a
Because
lot to overcome. I mean, it's not fear's part of it, sure, but I mean, there's, like I said, conditioning. We've been conditioned to have it now, to have the Wi-Fi, have this conversation. I mean, people didn't talk to, Oklahomans didn't talk to Englishmen 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 30 years ago.
yeah.
Maybe you might ring somebody up. If you were here and your mom was there, you
Yeah.
would call her, sure, 30 years ago, but not like, I mean, not just sit and talk forever. There was charge, there was cost, right?
Yeah.
My point is, we've become conditioned to expect the way it is. The new thing becomes the status quo that fast, and when we're without
Yes.
it, we get frustrated pretty fast. But I think,
Yes.
like I said,
Yeah.
I think there is a growing awareness that waiting is not a bad thing. Suffering is not a not, I don't mean real suffering. I mean,
Yeah.
enduring some discomfort is
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Sufferance.
Paul talked about suffering. Jesus talked about suffering. I mean, good things. Not for not from there's a word for that, like suffering for suffering's sake. That's not what I'm
Right.
talking about.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I can't think of that word.
Or
You know what I'm talking about, though.
putting people through sufferation, putting people in
Yeah, I'm not talking
situations
about.
where
I'm not
yeah,
talking about imposing suffering on
imposing.
others.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
Yeah.
about us willing to endure. us
Yeah.
willing to suffer because we need to wait, because
Yeah.
patience is a good thing, because whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's positive outcomes on the other side of endurance.
Yes. Yes. And then seeing it on the seeing that's where that's where the faith and hope comes in, because you're seeing this as you wait, and you're seeing
Mm,
this as you suffer, you're seeing this as you endure. It's building those muscles, that endurance
yeah.
and patience. So that's good
Faith is the
stuff.
substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
There we go. There you go. I
There you
love
go.
it. Bringing it, boom. That's a well, I'm gonna jump here. We're 115
Yeah,
into the chat. This is great. Justin, always a pleasure, man. Always a
appreciate you,
pleasure.
Steve.
Give my best to the family, and your grandkid,
Yeah,
grandpoo. What's your poo pop? What's your name?
pop pop.
Pop. That's right. Pop.
Accurate, right?
There you go. There you go. Fantastic. Have a great week, bro. And we'll
Yeah, you
talk
too.
soon. All
Yeah,
right. Take
bye.
care.
Hey, have a good birthday. Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
If I don't,
Fa-
I'll probably text you, but just in case, have a good
All right.
birthday.
All right. For
All right.
those watching, thanks for joining. Check out the replay. There's some good stuff in there, and we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if Justin comes back and finally gets on that train of kicking off his podcast. But thanks for your time and attention, and we'll catch you in the next one.